I'm going to drop, if you're especially this helpful in Texas, this should be helpful anywhere in the United States. This is especially helpful in Texas. I'm going to go over as many of the first time homebuyer programs that I possibly know about, the different segments, the different areas, the different entities that do first time homebuyer programs. I'm going to cover as much of this information as I possibly can. And it's just me on here. So I'm going to move quickly through the information. One of the biggest things I'm going to teach you is how to become a resource and find the information for yourself so that you can be beneficial to your clients as a real estate agent. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into this thing, guys. This is Ozzy Ramirez. I'm with Agents Empowering Agents. I'm also with the AskOzzy.com real estate team with eXp Realty right here in Houston, Texas. And let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start by sharing my screen. I'm going to close some of these windows first. I don't need Facebook open for you guys. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to open this up and we are going to dig into first time homebuyer programs for everyone. So first off, there are tons of first time homebuyer programs. Based on where you're at, you've got to find out what first time homebuyer programs are in your area. First time homebuyer programs usually are jurisdictional, meaning different areas have different programs. It could be city, it could be county, it could be state, it could be the national level. It totally depends, but every area has different types of programs. Within those different areas, so you have jurisdictions, you also have income requirements. Typically, you have credit requirements. You have all these different things. So you really have to dig in and find out what programs will fit what type of client for you if this is something you're interested in. So don't take my word for it. Don't use my research and the things that I'm going to cover with you right here today. But this will be a great start to get your conversation started. And I'll tell you the truth of the matter is with homebuyer programs, most of the time people do not qualify. Just being honest with you. The other thing that you need to know as well is you need to deal with a lender that knows these programs. And we're going to dig into a little bit because some of these programs, they have a list. Like these are all the qualified lenders. These are real estate agents who are registered with us. The lender is the most important typically because most first-time homebuyer programs are tied to the mortgage. So a mortgage lender, and I'll tell you, some lenders don't like doing first-time homebuyer programs. So you might have to find a specialist who loves this type of thing to work it out well. So what happens is a lot of times I brought people to first-time homebuyer program lenders that weren't really first-time homebuyer program lenders, and they do everything they can to talk the person out of it or say, "Oh, you're not approved." They just wanted the lead, and sometimes they're wrong or they actually misspoke. I won't say they lied, but they do it because honestly, it's a lot of work for the same, if not less, money on their portion of the transaction for mortgage lenders. So think about it. They've already got to process this whole file with all your information, credit, W-2s, taxes, all that crap. And then they've got to take that same thing and package it very similar, if not exactly the same or even more, and then send it to the first-time homebuyer programs. So it's almost doubling their work sometimes. So it's difficult. That's why I feel like a lot of lenders stray away from it because they don't get paid more on these deals. They work harder and they usually get paid the same or less. So you have to find a lender that really understands these programs, loves these programs, knows how to work it very easily, or you could just get it. It'll run into a lot of roadblocks that you don't want to have to deal with. So getting into it, I'm going to go very basic surface level on a lot of this stuff. But if you see right here, you can see in my box, HUD.gov/program. So you can walk through all of this. If you just Google it, you go to HUD.gov, you Google it and find it. One of the most prevalent programs that they want to get you into and is called the Good Neighbor Next Door program. The Neighbor Next Door program is typically about revitalization areas. So if you see that right here, single family homes and revitalization areas. What does that mean? So revitalization areas are areas that they would consider maybe low income, maybe high crime, maybe areas where there's a large amount of homes that are in a deteriorating shape. So what they do is they offer the Good Neighbor Next Door, which means they're going to offer it typically to, I believe it's armed forces. I got to look, it'll tell me here in just a minute. I know it's police officers. I know it's first responders, fire, paramedic, teachers, all those type of people are in this program. So what they do is they'll give you a grant or some kind of bond program to live in that particular area that they would consider a revitalization area. what they want to do is the belief system. Number one is we want to take care of our first responders, our police officers, things like that. Number two, we believe that these people are typically of good character. And if a cop car is parked in front of a house in an area, there's less likely to be crime in that area. Same thing with like ambulances and stuff like that. So the Good Neighbor Next Door program can help revitalize these areas, bring them back to healthy statuses. And let's see if anything, we can click on all these so we can look at it. Oh, here's a good one right here. So something to know about a lot of first-time homebuyer programs. This one has a 3-year occupancy requirement. Oh my gosh, what does that mean? So a 3-year occupancy requirement. They don't want the first responders going in there, buying the property, and then moving out and renting it out. They want them to occupy the property. That's the whole purpose for the program. Some people abuse it. So if you do end up selling it or leasing it, or you're not occupying it, and they figure out, a lot of times they can apply what's called a recapture tax. I'm not sure if it's on this one, but a recapture tax typically means, so if they give you like a grant, meaning they give you $20,000 to buy this property, down payment assistance and closing costs, because you're in their program, and you default or you sell the property earlier for a profit or something like that, they can charge you a recapture tax, which is, so they're going to say, well, we gave you $15,000 to buy this property. If you sell in your first year, you got to pay all $15,000 back. Second year, 10, third year, 5. By the fourth year, you have to pay 0. But it's different for every program. I'm going to challenge you guys to dig into these resources, look at all the list of all the requirements, get with a lender that's on their on their preferred lenders list, dig into their brain, ask them questions. Go to the program people that are actually run the program, so you can see there's phone numbers and stuff. There's people that you can call. Dig into it. Don't take my word for it. The more you research, the better off you get at it. What I've noticed is the more I know about these programs, the better conversation I can have. When I can have a really good conversation around these programs, people come to me and they want to use this. It doesn't mean they're going to qualify for the program all the time, but just being knowledgeable and offering it where most agents don't know anything about it makes you powerful. So do the research. So this is Neighbor Next Door program. One that is a little closer to home. So that is HUD.gov. You can go look at all that stuff right there. This is Seth. So this is SETHFC.com, SETHFC.com. And there's many different programs. I already clicked on this one. This is what we call the 5-star program here. The 5-star program is built around helping first-time homebuyers buy in our area. So if you look at it, and you got to dig into it, like I said. So there is a find a lender tab. So if you click on here, you can actually go through and they'll give you a list of all the lenders. The actual program, you can click here and it'll give you even more information about the program. So a lot of these programs, this is something to know. They'll require home buyer education. So what they're going to require is for your buyer to go and take a course. Sometimes it's an 8-hour course, sometimes a 2-hour course, but they'll typically get a certificate. And that certificate says that they understand the full program they're getting into, recapture taxes, all those different things that they might need to know. Here's where you find a lender. If you want to contact Seth, all these good things, so you can see the breakdown of all the programs. So here's a good one. This is just quick. Maximum purchase price. They should give you more details too as far as like income requirements. But let's just look at this real quick. You have to get a mortgage approval with the program lender. So you look at the list, meet program income limits. So they usually have a box in here, which we're not going to go through all that right now, that tells you the income limits. Minimum FICO score 640, complete the Seth HPE course, like we said, and not buying a property over 492,500, which, just to be 100% like truthful about it, 492.5. Usually if you're in one of these programs and they have an income limit, 492.5 would be a tough stretch. Yet I'm going to let you find that out on your own. And here's some contact information for people in this organization. I'm here in Houston, Texas on the southeast side. This is like 7 minutes away from my house. Their office is actually on the Beltway. I think it's Beltway, not Blackhawk. Maybe it is Blackhawk. It's pretty close to there. Beltway, Hughes, in that area. So here's a breakdown of that program. Seth also has other programs, which I'm going to challenge you to get into it too. Gold Star program, another one. Dig into it, find out about it. If you see it, no first-time homebuyer requirements, so you don't have to be a first-time homebuyer. FICO 620, maximum 484 sales price, meet program income limits, and then boom, you can go in here and get similar amounts of details. This one requires a course as well. You can take a look, it's very similar. And there you go. It also works for USDA loans, which USDA is typically a more rural of a loan. Just something to look at. And then this one's pretty important. MCC, mortgage credit certificate. What the heck does this mean? Most people, most agents don't understand this at all. I'm going to give you a very layman's terms of what this means. Oh, actually, here's one right here. This gives a little bit of a breakdown. So example, if you approve for the program, they get you in $170,000 loan amount, interest rate 3%. The buyer will pay $5,100 interest that year. So know that you'll pay $5,100 interest for the first year on that loan, $170,000, 3% at a 30-year amortization. You get a tax credit for 40% of the $5,100 of what you paid in that year in taxes. So they will actually give you a tax credit of $2,000 per year on that particular property. And I believe as your interest payment goes down, that amount you get in tax credit every year will go down. So believe it or not, this could equal $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 over the life of this loan you could get every year back in a tax credit. That's pretty powerful stuff, guys. Something you need to consider. So look into this, do your research. That's a powerful one. A lot of people don't want to go through these things, like I said. And now we're going to move on to this is what they call T-Shack. I don't know why they call it T-Shack, because it's not, if you look at the letters, it doesn't say shack, it's T-Sack. But I call it T-Shack. Everybody else I know is called T-Shack. Maybe we've been mispronouncing it. They also have a mortgage credit certificate program as well. They have several other programs. This is another first-time homebuyer program as well. And you can go in here, you can take your eligibility quiz. So it asks you questions to see if you're eligible or not. You can apply with approved lenders. So it gives you a list of lenders and the home buyer education class you have to take as well. And then boom, real estate agents, get certified. You can get yourself on this list so that you can be somebody who receives leads or things like that from this program. And it can help you build your business, and you can name yourself a first-time homebuyer expert because you know these type of programs. So I went into some of the basic programs. I didn't cover every program out there. There are tons and tons of them. I challenge you to look into them and research them. This gives you a breakdown of just some of the basic programs, some of the things you need to know, just enough to be deadly, just enough to begin using your resources and getting to work on this. So guys, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it helps. I hope I brought some value to you in your business. I hope this helps you grow your business. I hope you start doing this research so you be more educated on what's out there. And anything you need help with, you give me a call. I'll help you as much as I possibly can. But all the resources are here, and dig into them. Use your resources. Become self-sufficient in these type of things. And have an amazing day. Once again, this is Ozzy Ramirez. I'm with the AskOzzy.com real estate team with eXp Realty out of Houston, Texas. And Agents Empowering Agents, a free resource where I try to educate as many agents as possible. I'm going to take this video, I'm going to post it there, share it with all you guys, absolutely free, because I love seeing people grow their business. And the more these programs get to help home buyers, the better off we are, Lar. Love you guys. Have an amazing day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.